Hi everyone, welcome to this video on introduction of percentages. Here we'll be talking about the basics of percentage, understanding how to convert a percent to a fraction to a percentage, how to understand some basic conversions like how what is 14.28%, what is 12.5%, or what is 1 by 13 and so on. All these fractions we'll understand, and we'll also understand a few other concepts of percentages. So let's start with this introduction to percentages. So when I say percentage, if you read that word very carefully and hear that word very carefully, what do we mainly look at? Percent. So when I say percent, it means per 100. Per 100 means out of 100. So when I say 20%, and if I want to convert this 20% to a fraction, what are we doing? So we are saying that 20% is nothing but 20 upon 100 because it is per 100, and 20 upon 100 will become, when we reduce it, we know that the 0 will cut out, 2 and 10 will cut out. So 2 ones are, 2 fives are, and we are left with 1 by 5. Right? Same way, take any other example, you will get the same logic. If I give you 55%, okay, what is 55%? How will I convert a 55%? To a fraction? So it will become 55 upon 100. Why upon 100? Again, understand, because percentage stands for per 100. So it will be 5 11s are, 5 20s are, and that becomes 11 by 20. Any other thing, when you write it as percentage, you will always convert it upon 100. So if you want to calculate using this, suppose you want to say calculate what is say 35% of, just taking an example, 720. What is 35% of 720? How do you solve this? So solving this, you need to convert this to a fraction. So 35% will become 35 upon 100 of 720. So we'll cut 1 0 out. We can cut with 5, 5 7s are, 5 2s are, 2 1s are, 2 36 are. So we are left with 36 7s are. 37s are is 210. 210 plus another 42, so that will become 252. So whenever you are using the calculation to find some percent of some number, you can always use to convert the percentage to fraction. Okay, exactly opposite if I want to convert a fraction to a percentage. Suppose I've been given 1/5. 1/5 of something. What does it mean in terms of percentage? When I say there's a party and I'm going to have 1/5 of the cake, what is 1/5 of the cake in terms of percentage? So if I want to convert any fraction to a percentage, I have to multiply by 100. Like here we had to divide by 100 on the top. Here we were dividing by 100. But when I want to convert a fraction to a percentage, I have to multiply by 100. So it will become 1 upon 5 into 100. And that will become 20%. Anything else? Say a 3 by 20. Okay. Say, let's take another example. There are 20 goodies in a bag. I want to give 3 goodies to my best friend or 3 gifts to my best friend. So 3 out of 20. So what percentage are you giving away? 3 out of 20 will be what? It will be 3 out of 20 into 100. So 20 ones are, 25s are, and that is 15%. So you are giving away that much percent. Now, basically, when do you convert a fraction to a percentage? When you need the final answer as a percentage. Say I got 35 marks. Let's take one more example. I got 35 marks in an exam which was out of, say, 70 marks. So obviously it will be half, 50%, or 35 marks out of an exam which was of 50 marks. So I've got 35 out of 50. But what is it as a percentage? So you need to multiply by 100. Basically, when you're converting to percentage, you're trying to find out how much would I have got if the test was out of 100. So you will cut 51s are, 52s are, and the answer would be 70%. Right? So that is the method to convert percentage to fraction and the usage of fractions to percentage. Okay, let's take the next thing. We are going to study the basic conversions. How do you use all the 1 upon things like 1 upon n, where n is a natural number. Even if I'm studying till 20, 25 or 30, normally I tell people that they should remember all the fractions from 1 upon 2, 1 upon 3 up till 1 upon 30. They should kind of know by heart. You don't have to do it overnight. You can spend like maybe a month, or in fact, it's a regular process. I think if you spend like 15-20 minutes even on a weekly basis, or 2 to 3 minutes every day, from here till even August, September, that's a good enough time to revise this part, fractions to percentage. So obviously the basic ones you should know orally. What is half? Half is, when I say half of something, multiply by 100, it will become 50%, right? Same way, 1/3 also you should know, 100 divided by 3. If I keep dividing, I'll get 33.33 recurring. Now, when I want to do 1 by 4, there are a lot of different logic. There are two different logic. 1 by 4, you can again say 1 by 4 into 100. That is 100 divided by 4 is 25, which is correct. But 1 by 4 can also be understood as, it will be half of half. 1 by 4 is half of half. So it is half of 50, and half of 50 is 25. Because I understood 1 by 4 in this method, can I also understand 1 by 8 in the same method? 1 by 8 will be half of 1 by 4. So it will be half of 25, which will become 12.5%. Or I want to do next 1 by 16 will be 6.25%, but it will be half of 12.5. And so on. You can just keep on doing. If you want, you can do 1 by 32 also, which will come to 3.125 and so on. 1 by 3 we got, 1 by 4 we got, 1 by 5. 1 by 5 should be a direct one because 5 is an easy number. 100 divided by 5 is directly 20%. What about 1 by 6? Now, you can do 1 by 6 in two ways. You can do half of 1/3. See, 1 by 6 is 1 by 2 into 1 by 3. So you can do half of 1/3. That means you can take this number and divide it by 2. Or you can take this number and divide it by 3. Whichever way you do it, it's okay. Like 50 divided by 3 is 16 and a remainder of 2. And 2 divided by 3 is 0.66666. So this becomes 16.66%, 1 by 6. Or you could have taken this number and divided by 2. You would have got 16.666. It will stop somewhere, but that's okay. 16.66. Whether it is 16.66, 67, it's the same thing, because if you round it off, it will become 16.67. What about a 1 by 7? A 1 by 7 will, again, because it's, see, as soon as the prime number, no, you have to learn to by heart it. So 1 by 7 is 14.28. Now, luckily, only for this particular example, 1 by 7, the calculation is easy to by heart, because double of 7 is 14 and double of 14 is 28. Remember, there is no such rule. You don't learn it this way. You just remember it. It's like remembering those dates in school. You know, when you had those history dates in school, the teacher used to keep giving you easier approaches to remember them. So 1 by 7 can be remembered in this way. 1 by 8 we already did. 1 by 9 will be very easy. It will be 1/3 ka 1/3. 1/3 of 1/3. 1/3 is 33.33. So divide that by 3. It will become 11.11. So I got 1 by 9. And normally when I tell people to remember 1 by 9 is 11.11, I also make them remember 1 by 11 is 9.09. These two, if you can remember together, it will be great, because you can remember it in this way, that in the answer of 9, there is 11, and in the answer of 11, there is 9. Kind of just keeps you, gives you an easy way to remember. 1 by 9, 11.11, 1 by 11, 9.09. Okay. So we got that. We got 1 by 10 will obviously be very, very easy. 1 by 10 will be 10%. Nothing to explain there. 100 divided by 10. We finish 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 can be done. We have 1 by 6. So I can find 1 by 12. If I have 1 by 6, half of 1 by 6. So half of 16 is 8.33. 1 by 12. 1 by 13. As soon as I have prime numbers, I again don't have any method. I have to kind of remember it. 1 by 13 will be 7.69. Okay. 1 by 13 is 7.69. What about 1 by 14? I can make half of 1 by 7. 14 ka half is 7 and 0.28 ka half is 0.14. So 1 by 14 will be 7.14. 1 by 15. 15 is 3 5s. So I can do iska 1/3 or iska 1/5. Both are same. I think 20 ka 1/3 will be easy. 20 divided by 3 will be 6 2/3. That will be 6.666 or 6.67, whatever you want to call it. 1 by 16 we had already finished. Again, 17 is a prime number, so really no approach left. You have to by heart it. Approximately 5.88%. Right? 1 by 18, I can find 1 by 18 from here. 1 by 18, I can 11.11 ka half. So you can do 11.12 ka half, 11.10 ka half. Whichever way you do it, it is close to 5.55 or 56. Okay. 1 by 19 is again a prime number. So till here, if you've remembered, let's just go through this much. Take a minute off and just go through this much. Now let's learn 1 by 19, 1 by 20 and 1 by 25 together. Okay. 1 by 19, 1 by 20 and 1 by 21 together. Sorry. 1 by 20 we know is 5%. Right. These both, this is approximately 4.76 and this is approximately 5.24. Now, if you notice the difference, why am I telling you to remember these three together? Okay. 1 by 20 so is easy. 100 divided by 20 is 5. This is 0.24 less. This is 0.24 more. 1 by 19 is 5.24. 1 by 21 is 4.76. 1 by 22, I can do half of 1 by 11. And if you remember 1 by 11, it was 9.09. So it will be half of 9.09. That will be 4.55 or 54 something. Okay. So we can get 1 by 22, 4.54 types. What about 1 by 23? 23 will again be a prime number. So you'll have to kind of again by heart it. It will obviously be less than this, right? It is going to be close to 4.3-ish, 4.2-ish. Let's try and recollect 1 by 24 and 1 by 25. This number at least we can find out. 1 by 25 is 4%. 1 by 24 will be half of 1 by 12. 1 by 12 was 8.33. So half of 8.33 is approximately 4.16 or 17. This is approximately 4.3-ish. You can check exactly if you want. 100 divided by 23. 23 fours is 92 and there's a 8 remainder 80. So 23 threes is 69. So 4.3 something, 69. We've got 1100. So very close to 4.34. Not exactly 4.34, but very close to 4.34 because 23 fours actually it will be more than 4.34. It will be close to 4.35. So between 4.34 and 4.35 is 1 by 23. And even if you remember till here today, it's good enough. 1 by 26 should be easy because half of 1 by 13. 27 also should not be so bad. Like 1 by 27. I normally tell people to remember it this way. 27 में 37, 37 में 27. Okay, so 1 by 27, 1 by 28, half of 1 by 14, 1 by 29 prime number by hearted, and 1 by 30 will be 3.33. So if you can remember till 1 by 30, that's a great way of remembering things or a good number till which you can by heart, and you can then at least improve your speeds of calculations a lot more. Let's go ahead. Let's learn something else. Percentage increase and decrease and fraction for percentage increase decrease. So let's understand this. Suppose if I say that the price of a product has increased by say 10%. Let's take an easy example first. Something is increased by 10%. Okay, so let's understand different approaches. The first approach is a very basic approach. When I say something increases by 10%. So if I say the original value was 100, 10% of 100 is 10, which means the new value will become 110. That's 10% increase, but I want to find a fraction for it. So the right way to do that would be, if something has increased by 10%, if there's an increase of 10%, first understand what is 10%. 10% is 10 upon 100, 1 by 10. What is the meaning of increase of 1 by 10? Something increases by 1 by 10. How much does it become? It will become 1 plus 1 by 10. 1 plus 1 by 10 will become 11 by 10. Right? Take more examples. Suppose something increases by 25%. 25% is 1 by 4. If it increases by 1 by 4, it will become 1 plus 1 by 4, which will make it has become 5 by 4. So the fraction becomes 5 by 4. That means the new value, the right way to say it is the new value or the final value is 5 by 4 of the original value. Okay. Let's take some more examples from the ones which we just learned behind. Suppose something is increased by 8.33%. Say again, my marks in an exam increased by 8.33%. What is 8.33 as a fraction? 8.33 is 1 by 12. Therefore, I can say my new marks or the final marks is 13 by 12 of the original marks. How did I get 13 by 12? 1 plus 1 by 12, which can be added this way. 12 plus 1 is 13. Okay, you should also then understand some values like, okay, I'm just trying to make an example. Let's just think like 37.5%. Suppose something is increased by 37.5%. Now, if you remember, in that list, there was no 37.5. But even though there is no 37.5, there was a 12.5. And 37.5 can be written as 3 multiplied by 12.5. And 12.5 was 1 by 8. So hence I can say 37.5 as a fraction will mean 3 by 8. And therefore the final value, that is the new value, new marks, new value, whatever you want to call it, will be 8, 1 plus 3 by 8. So it will become actually 8 plus 3, 11 by 8 of the original value. Okay. So this is how you look at percentage increase. Exactly same way we can look at for percentage decrease, but you just have to be careful. Suppose something has decreased by 30%. Something has decreased by 30%. 30% is 3 by 10. Now, if it decreases by 30%, which means the final value will be 1 minus 3 by 10. And 1 minus 3 by 10 will become 7 by 10. So I will therefore say therefore the final value or the new value will be 7 by 10 of the original value. Why 7 by 10? Because 1 minus 3 by 10, because it is decreasing. So it is, say, the price of a product, the price of a mobile phone in a particular flash sale has decreased by 22.22%. Say the price of a mobile phone has decreased by 22.22%. What will 22.22% mean? Now 22.22 is double of 11.11. 11.11 was 1 by 9. 11.11. 22.22 is double of 11.11. And 22.22 will therefore become 2 by 9. So if there's a decrease of 2 by 9, therefore my final price or the new price will be 7 by 9 of the original price. Where did I get 7 by 9? Pay attention. 1 minus 2 by 9. And therefore 1 minus 2 by 9 will become directly 9 minus 2 only. The shortcut for that will be 7 by 9 of the original price. So this is how you look at percentage increase and decrease and fractions for that. We will be using this extensively. So please go through this very, very carefully. Okay. Now, you've seen some concepts over here. You know, we will be putting up some concepts on YouTube. But if you want to study all the concepts, this is what our live classes will include. Live conceptual classes will include each and every concept discussed in detail. And also, we'll be giving around 250 plus hours and 1500 plus questions in these sessions. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, let's start taking examples on the concept which we just learned. Number of workers in a company was so much in 2025. If there was an increase of so much next year, find the workers in 2026. So first thing I need to know is this fraction 6.25 is 1 by 16 and there's an increase of 1 by 16. Now what does increase of 1 by 16 mean? I will say the new total, the new number of workers will be 17 by 16 of the original number. Where did I get 17 by 16? It is 1 plus 1 by 16. If you take LCM, it becomes 17 by 16. So the new number of workers will be 17 by 16 of 16,656. We can reduce this. 16 ones are 16 ones are 0. 16 fours are 64, 1 and 1. So 1041 into 17. 17 ones are 17, 1 carry. 17 fours are 68 plus 1, 69, 6 carry. 17 zeros are 0. So we'll have a 6 over here, and 17 ones are 17. So the new number of workers is 17,697. Now, is this the only way to do it? No, there could have been one more way to do it. We could do basically that there are already so much workers. What is the increment only? The increment is 1 by 16 of this number, which we just did the calculation is 1041, right? So the number of workers have increased by 1041. They were already 16656 plus 1041 will give us the same answer, 17,697. So when the base is given on which the percentage is to be calculated, listen to this very carefully. This will be a very important concept. When the base is given on which the percentage is to be calculated, I can calculate 1 by 16 of it and add the answer to it. Or I can do this method where I can do 17 by 16 and directly solve the answer. Whichever method you do, that's fine. Okay, let's see the next one, which is slightly different. The population of a village is so much. There was a decrease of 7.69 over the previous year. What was the last year population? Now remember, this 7.69% was over last year. Now I'm going to show you a couple of approaches, so pay attention carefully. This was 7.69 was over last year. So method number 1, I will do the fraction only. There is a decrease of 7.69%. 7.69% we should remember from our list is 1 by 13. When something decreases by 1 by 13, it will become 12 by 13. So new population will be 12 by 13 of the original population. Now, this time the new population is what is given. 75,264 is the new population. So that will become into 13 by 12, which will be my original population. Remember, the original population will be more than this number. So it will be 12 6s are 72, 3, 12 2s are 24, 8, 12 7s are 84, 2, and 12 2s are 24. And now I'll have to do the multiplication. So let's do the multiplication carefully. 13 2s are 24, 2 carry. 13 7s are 91 plus 2, 93, 9 carry. 13 2s are 26, 26 plus 9 will be 35, 3 carry. 13 6s are 78 plus 3, 81. And this was the population last year. That was the original population. After that, it reduced by so much and it became 75,264. What can be another kind of approach to do this? Remember, first thing, you can't do this. See, pay attention. This is wrong. You can't do 1 by 13 of 75,264 because this was not the base on which the population is to be calculated. So one other approach to do this question would be something like this, which will finally come out to the same thing. Pay attention. Because 7.69 is 1 by 13, I can say let original population be 13x. Let original population be 13x. Why 13x? Because of this 1 by 13. So therefore reduction is 1 by 13 of 13x, which is 1x. So there's a reduction of 1x. Therefore, new population becomes 12x. 13x, where there was a reduction of 1x, so it will become 12x. And this 12x is 75,264. So we can solve for x, which we just did behind. We just got that answer, some 6 something something, whatever the answer was. I don't want to calculate now. And then calculate 13x, which you will again get it 81,000 something. So the point is, I don't think that this should be the right, not the right, but it should be, it's a longer approach. You should not be doing this. You should be understanding fractions really well, and that is very important in this topic. Let's look at the next example. If 16.66% of a number is 24 less than 22.22% of that number, find the original number. Suppose if I say let the original number be n, there is 22.22% of n and there is 16.66% of n, and the difference between these two is 24, because 16.66% is 24 less, so the difference is 24. Learn to convert everything to fractions. 22.22% is 2 into 11.11. I'll repeat this, I did this earlier also, so I'm going a little bit fast. 22.22% will be 2 into 11.11. 11.11 is 1 by 9. So therefore, this will become 2 by 9 of n. And 16.66 is so directly from the list only. So it is 1 by 6 of n is 24. Take LCM. LCM is 18, or when you take LCM, it is as good as multiply everything by 18. If you multiply everything by 18, if you multiply 2 by 9 into 18, it will become 4n. 1 by 6 into 18 will become 3n, and this will be 24 into 18. So n is equal to 24 into 18. I think 18 4s are 72, 7 carry, 36 plus 7, 43. So n will be 432. Understand why did we multiply by 18? Because 18 is the LCM. So let me get rid of the fractions, and the answer is n is 432. So the original number is 432. Okay, let's go ahead to the next one. Now here I'm going to again show you two approaches, and maybe three also. If 220% of a number is x, so 220% of a number x is 44. What is 44% of x? Let's understand it. So one is the regular approach, the way I showed you right at the start of this video. If I'm writing 220%, I have to write 220 upon 100. Of means multiply, of x is equal to 44. And somebody will not think and start solving. Great, no problem, 0, 0 cut. X is 44 into 10 divided by 22. 22 ones are 22 twos, and x comes out to be 20. Perfect. If x is 20, we want to find 44% of x. So that will be 44 upon 100 into x. We already know x is 20. 1 0 cuts out. 44 twos are 88. 88 divided by 10 will be 8.8. Simple. Pretty easy approach. No problem, but I thought it was a long approach. I thought we wasted time calculating x when x was not asked in the question. If they had asked x, then doing this step is okay. But if they have not asked x, why waste our time calculating? Is there a way I can reach directly 44% of x? Let's try and see. Now, one approach I would use in such a case, if 220% of x is 44, what is 44% of x? So I will look at this calculation. 220 divided by what number is 44? If you know that number orally, great. So I know that number orally. 220 divided by 5 is 44. That means I have to just divide this number also by 5. Hence my answer directly becomes 44 divided by 5, which is 8.8. Okay. Other approach to do this, which I like a lot, third approach, is breaking up things into smaller units. So if 220% of x is 44, and I know I want to calculate 44%. So think, If 220% is 44, how much is 22%? 1 less 0. Because at least that everybody should be able to do orally. If 220% is something, 22% will be 1 less 0. So 44 divided by 10 would be 4.4. And from 22% calculating 44% is very easy. And 44% of x will then become double of that, because this is becoming double. So this will also become double. Answer will be 8.8. So I've shown you 3 approaches. Again, depending on what question it is, every time you can keep using different approaches. Now, let me tell you at iQuanta what we do special. You have your live class where you have your conceptual class, you're taught concepts, you're taught questions around it, and so on. And immediately later, you have something called as the application classes. And these application classes will take the next level questions where you can solve with the faculty, with the live class. So that becomes one more very interesting factor, which a lot of people don't do. And we at iQuanta do this. And I think last year also, when I spoke to a lot of toppers, the most important thing people came across was the application classes. Let's take the next example. If 6,200 is added to a number, then the number becomes 444.44% of itself. So when I was looking at this sum for the first time, I thought, let me just break up this 444.44% first. So first I broke it up as 400 plus 44.44. And then I thought, let me convert everything to fraction. So even the 400, I have to convert to a fraction. So whenever I want to convert a percentage to a fraction, I have to divide by 100. So 400 divided by 100 will become 4 by 1. And we did couple of times, we did 22.22. Like we know 11.11 is 1 by 9. So 44.44 will be 4 by 9. So this whole thing, which without doing this part will look very difficult, is nothing but 4 by 1 plus 4 by 9. If I take LCM, I'll get 36 plus 4, which will be 40 by 9. So basically what now let's read the sum with this as 40 by 9. Suppose there's a number n. If 6,200 is added to n, the number becomes 40 by 9 of itself. That means the number will become 40 by 9n. And now solving this becomes very easy. Take n on the other side. So 6,200 is 40 by 9n minus 1n. If I take LCM as 9n, I'll get 40 minus 9, which is 31n. So I'll get 6,200 is 31n by 9. Calculate n easily. 31 ones are 31, 2s are 62, 0. 200 9s will be 1,800, and therefore n becomes 1,800. So understanding this well, that how do I convert this to a fraction is the main important step. Okay, once you start learning how to convert these numbers to fractions, it will become very easy. Like in the next question, okay, even though the percentage is this, I thought first let me convert it to a fraction. I didn't even read the question if you notice. 1500% divided by 100 is 15 upon 1. So the fraction is 15 upon 1. The square of a positive number, suppose the number is n. So the square of a positive number is n square, is so much greater than the number itself. That means the difference between the two, that is the square of the number and the number, is 15 upon 1 n. 15 upon 1 is 15 only. So n square, now this equation was slightly difficult to make, so pay attention very carefully. The difference between the square of a number and the number itself is 1500% greater than the number. That means greater than the number, that means the difference is 15n. So n square will become, take this 1n on the other side, so it will become plus, so n square will become 16n. Because these are positive numbers, I can divide both sides by n. Divide both sides by n, I'll get n square divided by n will be n. 16n divided by n will be 16. So I get n as 16. So that was the way. But remember, they had not asked for n, they had asked for the square of that number. So that means they were asked for n square at the end. That is 16 into 16, which will be 256. right? Go through it very carefully. Slightly difficult question. Let's look at the next one. The population of a town was so much, which is like 1,69,000. 38.45% of them are males and the rest are females. 50% of the females are married to the males from the same town. Find the percentage of married males. Now, again, when I was looking at this question, the first thought which came to me is what is 38.45? How is the examiner trying to relate 38.45 was my thought. And then after a little bit time, I just took a few seconds, thought over it, and I realized this is nothing but 7.69 into 5. You can check. 9 5s are 45, 4 carry. 30 plus 4, 34, 3 carry. 35 plus 3, 38. So this is 7.69 into 5. 7.69 we know is 1 by 13 into 5 will become 5 by 13. Okay, now pay attention to one more trick in this question. At the end, the question asks us in terms of a percentage. That means the real number kind of becomes useless. There are so many questions we will come across over the year where the real number becomes useless. So in this case, 1,69,000 is useless. Okay? Now, why is it useless, or what is the right number you should take? So if you had started, because this is 5 by 13 are males, what if I start with the population of the town as only 13 people? Only 13 people, right? 5 by 13 are males. So what is 5 by 13 of 13? If I do 5 by 13 of 13, I'll get 5. So males are 5. Therefore, females will be 8. 13 minus 5 females will be 8. Now read the question further. 50% of the females are married to the males of the same town. 8 females are there. So how many females are married? Females who are married will be 50% of 8. 50% is half. Half of 8 will be 4. So if 4 females are married, they need 4 males with whom they can marry, right? Because they said the females are married to the males from the same town. That means married males will become also 4. Now read what is asked exactly. Find the percentage of married males. So percentage of married males is 4 out of 5. Because there are 4 out of the 5 males, and what we wanted is percentage. This is a fraction. Remember, start of the chapter, 4 by 5 into 100. 5 ones are 5 20s are. Answer will be 80%. Right? So that's one more place where we've used the concept which we just learned in the chapter. So this is our course detail. How do we go across our full course at iQuanta? You can go through it, and if you'll have any queries, you can speak to our counselors. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helps you understand the basics of percentages, and the basics of percentage become very important later on to understand chapters like simple interest, compound interest, profit and loss, and so many other things.